Hello everyone, wishing you all a wonderful day. Today we're going to explore a journey where memories vanish, trust becomes the only guide, and a single hospital visit could change everything. What happens when someone wakes up and no longer remembers the people who love them most? If you find this story meaningful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss our upcoming videos. The car rolls along the long stretch of road, windshield wipers moving back and forth as scattered rain falls unevenly from the sky. Some moments the rain grows heavier, drumming against the glass, then it softens again, almost disappearing. In the back seat, Toan sits upright, his hands resting on his knees. His eyes drift toward the window, then back to the front as if he's afraid to miss something important. He keeps asking questions in a low, careful voice, questions that sound simple, but carry a quiet unease beneath them. Are we really okay? He asks again. An Thu glances at him through the rearview mirror, his expression calm and reassuring. He tells Toan not to worry, especially not about money. Everything has already been arranged. There's no need to think about those things now. His voice is steady, confident, the kind that makes you feel like someone else is holding the weight for you. Tu Diem sits beside Toan, close enough to feel the tension in his body. Her fingers are tightly clasped together in her lap, knuckles pale. Inside her chest, fear and hope rise and fall together, tangled so tightly she can't tell where one ends and the other begins. She watches Toan's face, searching for any flicker of recognition, any sign that something familiar might surface. But his expression remains cautious, gentle, and uncertain, aren't gone forever. As the car finally comes to a stop, the rain fades completely. The sky clears, leaving only damp pavement behind. It feels almost symbolic, like a quiet sign that something good might still be waiting for them. Inside the hospital, the atmosphere shifts instantly. Cold white lights shine down from the ceiling, reflecting off polished floors and pale walls. The air smells faintly of disinfectant. Toan sits across from the doctor, hands folded together, posture polite but stiff. He listens carefully, nodding when spoken to, though it's clear he doesn't fully understand why he's here. Outside the room, Tu Diem waits. Every second feels longer than the last. Her heart burns with anxiety, thoughts racing despite her attempts to stay calm. She presses her palms together, whispering silent prayers she didn't even know she remembered. Inside, An Thu explains Toan's condition in clear, measured words. He talks about the accident, about the memory loss, about the confusion and changes Toan has shown since then. The doctor listens attentively, occasionally nodding, occasionally asking follow-up questions. The examination begins methodically. Blood pressure is checked, normal. Heart and lungs sound healthy. The doctor's expression remains neutral, professional. Toan follows instructions quietly, doing everything he's asked without complaint. Next come more advanced tests, a CT scan, an EEG. Toan doesn't ask many questions, only glancing once at An Thu for reassurance. An Thu gives him a small nod, enough to tell him everything is fine. Time passes slowly. Tu Diem sits outside, staring at the floor, counting footsteps, listening to distant voices echo through the hallway. When the doctor finally calls them back in, her heart leaps into her throat. The results are explained carefully. There is no serious physical damage to the brain, no tumors, no bleeding, no structural issues. The diagnosis is temporary amnesia caused by psychological trauma. The words hit Tu Diem all at once, sending a wave of mixed emotions through her body. Relief washes over her first, overwhelming and almost dizzying. It isn't life-threatening. It isn't permanent damage. But right behind that relief comes sorrow. Recovery will take time. There's no instant solution. The doctor prescribes medication to help support brain function, advises plenty of rest, and emphasizes avoiding strong emotional shocks. Most importantly, he explains that old memories shouldn't be forced. They need to be gently reintroduced through familiar faces, familiar places, and shared moments with loved ones. Tu Diem listens quietly, tears slipping down her cheeks without a sound. She doesn't wipe them away. She lets them fall, grateful and heartbroken all at once. Toan Thu handles the paperwork, pays the fees, and goes to purchase the medication. When he returns, his voice is warm as he tells Toan not to worry, reminding him again that everything is under control. Toan nods slowly, clutching the bag of medicine. In his eyes, there's a faint spark, small but unmistakable, hope. Standing there in the cold hospital corridor, surrounded by unfamiliar faces and harsh lighting, Tu Diem suddenly feels something shift. Toan may not remember yet, but he isn't standing still. He's moving forward with them. And for now, that is enough. A light rain drizzles as the car pulls up in front of the house. The sky is overcast, but it no longer feels heavy like before. The air is calm, almost gentle. Toan steps out of the car slowly, his shoes touching the wet ground as he looks around. His eyes move from one face to another, uncertain, unfamiliar, as if he's stepped into a place he's never seen before. There's no recognition, only polite confusion. Tu Diem stands beside him, close but careful, afraid that even standing too near might overwhelm him. Her heart tightens again, but she forces herself to breathe steadily. This is part of the journey, she reminds herself. The doctor's mother comes out to greet them, her expression warm and welcoming. She smiles at Toan with genuine kindness, as if he were already family. Toan Thu gently explains the results of the hospital examination, keeping his tone calm and reassuring. He tells her that Toan's condition isn't dangerous, that it's temporary memory loss caused by emotional trauma, and that with time, care, and patience, he can recover. The older woman listens carefully, nodding as she takes in every word. She turns back to Toan, her eyes soft. Even though he doesn't recognize her, she doesn't hesitate to speak to him kindly, asking if he's tired, if he's hungry, if he feels cold standing outside in the rain. Toan hesitates for a moment before speaking. He admits quietly that he doesn't recognize anyone here. His voice carries a trace of embarrassment, and he apologizes, bowing his head slightly, as if he's done something wrong. The apology lands heavily in Tu Diem's chest, making her eyes sting. No one blames him. No one looks disappointed. Instead, they begin explaining things to him gently, one by one, as if telling a story meant to comfort rather than shock. They remind him that he has visited this house before, that it's a familiar place, even if it doesn't feel that way now. Someone tells him that Tu Diem is the person he loves. Another voice adds that Toan Thu considers him family, someone close, someone important. The words aren't rushed. There's no pressure in the way they're spoken, just calm, steady truth. Toan listens quietly, absorbing everything. He nods slowly, processing the information not with memory but with feeling. Though his mind remains blank, something inside him seems to relax. A small smile touches his lips. He says that even if he doesn't remember any of it, he feels happy, comfortable, as if being here isn't wrong. Tu Diem watches him from the side, her chest aching with emotion she can't quite name. There's pain, of course, pain that he can't look at her and know their past. But there's also warmth, seeing how easily he accepts the care surrounding him. The kindness offered to him fills the empty spaces where memories should be. This house feels different from the lonely places Toan once endured without knowing who he was or where he belonged. Here, the air is warm, the voice is gentle, the atmosphere full of quiet concern. Even without memories,
Hello, xin chào mọi người. Sau đây là câu chuyện kể về Toàn trên đường đến bệnh viện cùng với anh Thư và Tử Diễm sau khi mất trí nhớ do chấn thương tâm lý. Trên con đường mưa, Toàn nhẹ nhàng hỏi những câu hỏi đầy lo lắng, trong khi những người bên cạnh an ủi, âm thầm và hỗ trợ anh. Tại bệnh viện, các cuộc kiểm tra y tế cho thấy anh bị mất trí nhớ tạm thời. Điều này mang lại sự nhẹ nhõm và nỗi buồn, vì quá trình hồi phục sẽ cần thời gian và sự kiên nhẫn. Trở về nhà thì Toàn không nhận ra ai, nhưng thay vì áp lực, anh lại đón tiếp bằng sự ấm áp, chân thành và lòng trắc ẩn. Mặc dù quá khứ vẫn trống rỗng, anh bắt đầu cảm thấy an toàn và được chấp nhận, được bao quanh bởi lòng tốt và sự chăm sóc. Toàn bắt đầu những bước tiến đầu tiên, khám phá ra rằng ngay cả khi không có ký ức, niềm tin và sự kết nối giữa con người vẫn có thể soi sáng con đường.